So we'll make a start now on our presentations, and I'll pass this on to Molly Sonny.
Thank you, Mileni. Just for your information, we were working together with Pacific Business Trust previously in regards to the wage subsidy assistance. And just a bit of a feedback from our team from MSD. We really enjoyed working with you all employees, Pacifica employees, and looking forward to working with you guys again going forward in regards to these assistance that we look after. And again, as mentioned earlier on, Q&A will be at the end of the presentation. So please, any questions, note them down or pass him through, and we'll go through them at the end of the presentation. Next, lady. So with this presentation, we will be going through a couple of assistance that we have that we look after on behalf of the government. And firstly, the short-term absent payment, the leave support scheme, and then we will touch on a bit later on the community supports available for those that are in isolation that may need help. Now, to be able to apply for either the short-term absent payment or the leave support scheme, you must be an eligible employer, which includes registered businesses, registered charities, NGOs, non-government organizations, self-employed and sole traders, incorporated societies, and post-settlement governance entities. So if your company fall under these categories, you can apply for the two assistances mentioned, pending you and your staff are eligible as per criteria set out, which we will be covering. So the first one here, the short-term payment, absent payment, this payment is available for businesses, including sole traders, to assist eligible employees' salary while they're waiting on COVID-19 test results. So this will be for employees that are unable to work from home and needing to stay home awaiting test result in line with public health guidance. Note that these applications can be made even if your staff has got their COVID test back results and are back at work. Also, the application can be up to 8 weeks after the test was taken. Again, even if the employee has gotten back to work. And also note that you can only apply once every 30 days period for each eligible staff, unless health official or a doctor advise the employee to get another test. So the eligibility for this payment here, so business can apply if they've been advised that their worker or a self-employed person is staying home while waiting for COVID-19 test result in accordance with public health guidance, or a parent or caregiver of a dependent who is staying home while waiting for their COVID test results, and that the dependent needs support to do so safely. Or also a household member of a person with COVID-19 and the worker has been advised to stay home while waiting for close contact test results. Note that you can't get a short-term absent payment when you or your employee take a red test because the results come out instantly. So if you or your employee test positive, you will then be able to apply for the leave support scheme straight away. So that's pretty much the short-term absent payment. Thanks, Elaine. If we can move on to our next slide. So the next one is the leave support scheme. this is for businesses with employees who've been told to self-isolate and can't work from home. Again, this applies for self-employed people too. So this is paid at a rate of 600 for a full-time worker who's working 20 hours or more per week, or 359 for a part-time worker working less than 20 hours a week. To be eligible for a 1-week payment of leave support scheme, your employee will have been advised to self-isolate for at least 4 consecutive calendar days. If your employee needs to keep self-isolating for another week, you can apply for a 2nd week payment of leave support scheme, or the 3rd or the 4th week as it requires. But you will be going through the same process for each week. So to be eligible for this, if we can go back to the last one, sorry, Eleni. So to be eligible for the subsidy leave subsidy scheme, your employee must have been advised to self-isolate for a period of at least 4 consecutive days for any one of the following reasons, and keeping in mind that they are unable to work from home. So they have COVID-19, or they are household contact of a person who has COVID-19. They are the parent or caregiver of a dependent who has been advised to self-isolate due to positive COVID-19 test result. And again, the dependent needs support to do so. Or they are in a category of people most at risk of severe illnesses from COVID-19, or have household members in the category of those people who are at risk of severe illnesses as a result of COVID-19. So your employee or their dependent must have been advised to self-isolate by either a medical officer of health or their delegate, medical practitioner, your GP or a doctor at the hospital, or the National Investigation and Tracing Center. Also note that if you've just hired an employee who hasn't started work yet, and they meet the criteria, you can apply for them too. So before starting on an application for either payment, some of the things that you need to have in place prior, ensure that you have advised your employee that you're applying for them, and you have their consent to share information. You know whether your employees are working 20 hours or more a week, or less than 20 hours a week. You're not currently getting a leave support scheme payment or short-term absent payment for any of these employees. Or your business details, also your business details match those held by Inland Revenue, especially your IRD number. Confirm that these employees cannot work from home, and the employees you're applying for meet the health criteria set out in the declaration as part of the application. Next one. So once you have all those details, it is quick and easy to apply. So you visit the COVID-19 support section of the Work and Income website. And as you can see there, the application form is pretty straightforward. Those that has gone through the past wage subsidy applications, pretty much similar. So to start off, you've got to ensure that you read, understood, and agreed to the declaration by ticking the box. Fill in your business IRD number. This could include your partnership IRD number or company IRD. Add your IRD customer name. Again, this is the name that's linked to your business IRD number. Then you add on your New Zealand business number if you have one. Note that this is optional. You add on your business address, contact name, email address, and mobile number. your bank account number, and then lastly, the employee details that you have, including full-time and part-time employees in the same application. You can see there that if you have more than one, you can add employee as you go. So with the employee added to this, need their name, date of birth, IRD number, and employment type, either full-time or part-time, based on the hours that we spoke about before. Again, as mentioned earlier, we have worked with Pacifica employers in regards to the wage subsidy. And we had quite a lot of employers having issues with this when the details that you have doesn't match up with what IRD has. So it's important that you have the correct details before you apply. Now, the last slide here, it's about the community connected services. So the community connection service takes an active approach to ensure people needing help during self-isolation period are able to access these information supporting services across multiple government agencies and service providers. So these service providers will help navigate and connect individuals in whānau to various services during and in transition from self-isolation. I think it's important that your employee are aware that they have service providers they can access for assistance during self-isolation period. I know us Pacifica are known for the staunch attitude towards being seen as weak and suffering quietly. So we need to let them know that we can help. All they need to do is reach out and ask, and the support is there. Now, for those that requires these assistance, we will add these information that we can add on to these slides here, where you can have access to, or otherwise we can discuss later on if you have any further queries on that. And lastly, we have these links here. So for further queries or any information that you require, you can actually jump into these links and have a run through, or otherwise we will have contact details for us. If you can contact us directly, we can help out. And that's pretty much the tool. And I hope that it's clear to you employers, and for any further assistance or queries, do yell out and we can reach out and see what we can do to help you out. Malo apito.
Fifth say lava for that, Molly. So we will be taking you through, on behalf of Inland Revenue, the COVID-19 support for businesses and organisation. So again, we are here to help. So yep, next slide, thank you. So what is it? So on the 21st of February 2022, that's the government made the announcement that the COVID-19 support payment that will be administered by Inland Revenue will be made available for businesses and organisations who are affected by the spread of COVID-19, as well as the other factors of applying or complying with the health legislative. So the COVID-19 support payment is very similar to those that applied for the resurgent support payment, or RSP, previously. I can say it's very much similar, very much the same, a few changes, but overall the process is similar. So we'll take you through, for those who are new and have never accessed a payment or new to business beginning of this year, definitely in the right place. And again, we're here to help you. So what it is, it's 3 fortnightly support payments that is made available. Applications opened on the 28th of February, and so that will be done online. And the period starts will be from the 16th of February. Thank you, Eleni. Next slide. Okay, so what's in it for businesses and organisation? For RSP, those that apply for RSP, very similar. Those that are new, so the base payment is 4,000. So the base payment is 4,000 and it's 400 per full-time equivalent or employee. So if you have a part-time employee, that's okay, you can still apply, and we will definitely have the calculations available, but you definitely can do that. For those who are registered for EMP or PAYE, when you do apply, it would actually, the information will pre-populate. So, and again, it's three fortnightly payments. You would need to apply for one each period individually. And it's not necessarily means that you may qualify for all three. It could be the two or the one. Again, it is available for you to access. For those with lower revenue, you can apply the 8 times actual revenue drop. Again, that will be tested based on the criteria. So are you eligible? So these are the key factors that you need to take into account to be eligible for the support payment, the COVID-19 support payment, or I will be referring it as the CSP. Now, it's important that you've been in business for at least 1 month before the 16th of February. So if it's the beginning of this year, that is fine, as long as it's a month prior to that. There are some businesses who be classified as pre-revenue, and you'll see that on the application when you do apply. So for those that are still, that haven't yet started their business, but in the planning stage, again, you can apply for that as long as you can provide evidence of your capital raising or your funding of the business as you are in that planning stage. Also important that you are currently in New Zealand. Again, it's those that New Zealand businesses that are affected, again, registered in New Zealand and working in New Zealand. So that's something to take into account, as well as being viable. Again, it's continued to grow even after the restriction, continue to grow. It's going to be ongoing, and New Zealand business number is very important. So again, with MSD, it's optional there, but with IRD application, you need to have a New Zealand business number in order for you to proceed to the next stage of the application. Now, some of the probably some of the challenges that members or business owners encountered was that they were using their old New Zealand business number. For example, I'm a director. I used to be a director for a company that has now closed, but I'm now a sole trader or self-employed. So rather, what I've done is that when I've applied, I've actually used my business number, my company's NZBN. Again, if you're no longer, that company's no longer trading and you're now a sole trader, really important that you apply for an NZBN number. Your NZBN number must match your application. So it must match your application that you put forward. You must be 18 years or older and agreed again for the terms and conditions. It's a declaration. So the application that is online must be declared. This is how we're going to be testing it, which is the 40% drop. Previously with the RSP, for those who are familiar, was 30%. Now it's 40%, and it still remains at a 7-day consecutive period, which means we're going to be comparing the week that the department is providing to the week that when you were trading earlier. These two are probably the new addition to the criteria, and that means that you've exhausted all avenues to keep your business afloat. Unfortunately, is due to the the COVID, and due to, like, for example, the rules of, like, Ministry of Health, self-isolation, having staff who had to self-isolate, which then affected your business with the drop in revenue. Or another example is that you're based in the city and all the shops have been closed, and you tried different avenues to just to generate income, and it hasn't been successful. Then again, that will put you in that position of being eligible to apply for the CSP. I actually want to also emphasize the importance of the business owners and those from organization. And those are the key factors, key criteria to be eligible for the payment. Now, I do emphasize and recommend, if you have outstanding returns, if you have a debt with Inland Revenue, please don't go and write yourself out and draw that conclusion that you are not eligible. Again, you will be eligible as long as your business is you're operating a business, you're trading, and it's been a month before the 16th of February, it's viable, it's ongoing. So for those who are going through liquidation or bankruptcy, unfortunately, with respect, that's not deemed as viable. But if you have one outstanding return or even 3 to 4, don't think that you don't qualify, because if that was the case, we would have put that in there. Again, we are here to help. We are here to guide and provide that support if need be. So again, that's the criteria to be eligible for the CSP. Thank you, Eleni. And the way we're going to be doing it is testing. So we're going to test the revenue drop, and that's by 40%. The way we do that for those that did apply for the RSP, it's exactly the same. For those who are new, it's a bit tricky in somewhat way, but you'll get the hang of it. And again, we are here to help you. The date that we've taken into account that we're going to be testing from is the 16th of February 2022. I understand that I think there is a new date that has been announced, but I'll leave that to Naeem when we go through the online services. But the comparative period that you can utilize as a 7-day period is any 7 day between the 5th of January 2022 to the 15th of February 2022. So the online, as long as you've got that information, that's fine. Again, if you have outstanding income returns or outstanding returns, because we don't have your accounts in the system, you will then be relying on your bank statement. You'll be relying on your invoices, on contracts, and so forth. So those are just examples. Okay, thank you, Lenny. So how do I apply for my first CSP? So again, the CSP applications opened on the 28th of February. So it's open now. If you have an online account, excellent. Apply via your My IR. If you don't, then please let PBT know, and they have my number. I'm more than happy for you to come through, and we will educate you on how to get that My IR so that you can apply. It's important all applications will be online. You need to have an NZBN number. If you don't, then definitely apply for that before you come through. Make sure you have your bank account. And again, if you don't have accounts with us, if your returns are outstanding, we don't know that. We can't see what your returns are like, or what your financial statements are like, or how your business was performing in that year. Then that's when you're going to be go back to your records, because that's what you're going to be using when you apply for the CSP application. You can, so that's where we're going to test the 40%. It's really important. So for those who are sole trader, those who are in business companies, this is definitely for you. It's available, and it's from the government. Make use of it. If any questions, again, we are here to help. Okay, thank you for that, Eleni. So once when you've applied, what usually happens is that our team, our team will review it, and payments will be, you will receive the payments within 48 hours. In some applications, there may be a delay, and that's usually because it's going to be a manual intervention where our team will look into it. One is because the New Zealand business numbers doesn't match. Two, we don't have the accounts for you, so we will be relying on just extra evidence to support that you are in business. And three, if you're pre-revenue, you're starting a business but have not yet kickstart officially, then we'll definitely be relying for some information. Again, I know it may take some time, but if you know that you're eligible and the money is there for you, for your business to operate, for organizations, then please tap into that, get that access that payment. And again, we are here to help you. Over to Naeem.
Mano Lovelace. Yeah, so I'll take you through on how you go about applying it for the COVID-19 support payments on your My IR account. So this is where the magic happens. If you don't have a My IR account, I strongly suggest that you register for an account. We do not have a paper form, so you must do it online. How to apply for the COVID support payment. So once you're registered, log in, and once you're in, as you can see on the screen there, look for the I want to, and you won't miss it. It's right there. Click on the I want to, scroll down. I've highlighted yellow there, apply for COVID-19 support, and click on that, and it will take you to the next page. Cool. All right, so about COVID-19 support payment, so have a read of that information. It's very important. Some of the things that you require will show up there, especially the New Zealand business number. Must have that, otherwise you won't be able to complete your application. So once you open that page up, click yes, that you have the authority, and it will open up further questions below. Cool. So you must enter your New Zealand business number, as I said earlier. The New Zealand business number starts with 94. If you are self-employed and you don't have a business number, please do apply on the NZBN website. It's a different organization, but you can register for a New Zealand business number. I think it only takes about 5 minutes for you to register for a New Zealand business number, and you will get the number. So once you obtain that number, come back here, enter in your NZBN number in that box. The payment periods there, you will see that there's 3 payment periods. Please ignore this screenshot. This is mainly for our testing internal work. So when you apply online, it should only pop up with the 1 payment period, which is the 16th of February period, end date 4th of April. So don't get confused about the other 2 payments there. And then answer the other 2 questions there, as Liz was explaining earlier about the commonly owned group as well as the pre-revenue firm. Please note that I know that sometimes you may have a feeling that some questions are all yeses and some no. That doesn't mean that these 2 questions are yes as well. So have a read, and if you know that it's not relevant or it doesn't relate to your entity, your business, then please select the right answer. And once you're done, go next. All right, so it is quite important that you have a read of the information, especially the declarations here. Everything that Liz has spoken about regarding the eligibility, this is shown here. So have a read. If you do not understand, please do get in touch with our team, BBT, and also ourselves, and we will be able to explain a bit further. So if you answer yes to all of the questions there, it should allow you to go to the next step. All right, so this is the revenue part. So this is where you would need to have all your financial records available. When you come to this part, you will need to add in the information that you've obtained from your, for example, your bank statement or your financial statements as well. So enter in the start date for the 7-day period, so which is from the 16th of February. That is the affected period. So any 7-day period, it's either from the 16th of February or the 17th or the 18th, whatever period. It has to be any typical 7-day period.
7 days.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, and answer the question whether your business has earned any revenue. Select yes and add in the revenue that your business has received for that 7-day period. All right, and then the second half of the revenue is the 7-day period within the comparison period. So this is the period from the 5th of February, any 7-day period from the 5th of February. So whether it be the 5th or the 6th or the 7th, whatever period that you choose. If your business has, if your business income fluctuates and you don't know which period to select, you can always look for the average income for those from the 5th of February up to the 15th of, so 5th of January up to the 15th of February, find the average and add in the average of your revenue there. Once you enter everything in, it should automatically come up with the percentage. And sometimes it might come up that your percentage is less than 40%. And if that's the case, then you're not eligible to apply. Yep, cool. Next. So the employee. So this, if you are registered for PAYE, it should automatically come up with your employees. If there is an employee missing, please do add it in. The system allows you to add in an employee, or if you see an employee that is no longer working for you, please do delete that from your application before you proceed. And it also allows you to select either full-time or part-time. Next, please, Lainey. So here's what a completed screen looks like for a business where the revenue dropped. And so you will see here, this is the amount that you can get. If there's only one full-time employee, you will get $400. And the base payment is about $4,000. I see there's a question there about do we pay out the $400 to our employees? The answer to that is not exactly. The amount for an employee is more of a it gives us an idea of how big the business is, and it's not a payment to give to your employee. But then that's totally up to you on how you go about spending the money. It's more of your operating expenses. Right, next please, Lenny. All right, so this is where you add your bank account. And if you had applied for, the research and support payment, we can use the research and support payment for this application, and we can pay it to that bank account which we already hold for you. Next please, Lynn. All right, so it's very important that you do go through the terms and conditions of the COVID support payment. Again, the payment is a grant, and it is very important that this grant is spent on what it's meant to be, especially the operating expenses of the business. So please have a read of that terms and conditions and agree. Right at the bottom of this page, it will have a tick box for you to agree, and which will then allow you to go to the next step. All right, so this is the last part of the application. So we'll come up with the amounts that you'll be getting. Just go through and review everything that you've done. Once all completed, tick the I agree box and submit the application. Awesome. So this is the last part. So it will come up and it will tell you that we will work on it within 5 to 10 working days. Some applications and some we've seen so far is auto approved by the system. So usually if you apply before 5 p.m. And everything meets the criteria and the system will work its magic, the payment should be in your account within the next working day. If we have any concerns or anything that we may need to review, then we will come to you. We will send you a web message asking you to provide further information to enable us to process your application. So please don't be offended if we ask you questions that may not look relevant to your case. We do have an automated system that will just send out a template of the questions that we asked. So please do answer those questions, and I'm sure that our team here at PBT will be able to help out as well. Awesome. So that's the last part of our presentation. Over to you, Lady. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Naeem. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and thank you so much, Molly, for the wonderful presentation and very informative. Onto our Q&A time now. We're just going to ask a few questions. Most, I believe, are directed to our MSD team. So if you do have questions, keep putting them through chat, and my colleague will send them through. So our first question is, how much are these payments? Is it similar to your normal salary or wages, or is it a fixed amount? I believe you've covered this.
Sorry, sorry about that. I think if it's for the short-term absent payment, it's a one-off payment of $350, $359 per application.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Our second question again, Molly, regarding the flexi-wage self-employment applications. What is the present waiting time for the application being vetted, i.e. the vetting interview, to being advised that the application is approved or not?
Unfortunately, that's a different team, a separate team from us that are working with the flexi-wage self-employment. But if you send me your details and everything, I can actually follow up for you, Eleni, and feel free to pass on my details to that person too. We can make contact and we can take it from there.
Okay. Oh, okay, good. Our third question is, what if used rat test notify the Healthline and so I think, what if the person's used the rat test, they've notified Healthline, they've received the positive COVID text to isolate, would that count as still being eligible or not eligible?
Cool. Just note on that one there. So the red test is you're not eligible for the short-term absent payment, but once you're positive, you can apply for the leave support scheme.
Okay, awesome. Next question, with the leave subsidy, how much do we pay the employee when there is GST taken out of the 600?
Just for your information first, the GST is not taken out of the 600. So the 600 comes to you. In regards to the amount paid to employees, they will come back to the amount that they're entitled for based on their contract, employment contract.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Our next question, for a sole trader, they've asked, can you apply for yourself? I think just
Yes, definitely. I mean, if you're a sole trader, self-employed, you can apply. I'm not really sure, but normally with the self-employed and sole traders, they normally use their own IRD number for their application. How about Naeem, and if I'm correct on that?
well, we'll get a confirmation after.
Yeah.
So our next question, do we need to collect evidence from employees stating they have been advised to self-isolate? And if so, what does this look like?
Sorry, I do have my colleague, Clarence. Clarence, are you still there?
Yeah, hi.
Please jump in anytime, mate.
That's right. My name is Clarence. I work as a labor market advisor here at Auckland Ellerslie, MSD. Just want to say, first of all, thanks for Pacifica Business Trust. Really appreciate that you invited us over and happy to support anytime. No, the employer, we do not ask for any evidence. An employer does not need to ask as well for the employee to prove that they have met one of the criterias and need to self-isolate. I mean, there is also no expectation from MSD that employers will need to, provide proof when making an application for leave support scheme. The employer basically will only have to, declare that the employee has said that they meet one of the eligibility criteria. So it is a high trust model. So we do not, ask for any proof.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Clarence.
Thanks, Clarence.
No worries.
And so our next question, do I have to top up the employee's wages, or can I just give them what the subsidy applied for, what they've applied for?
Clarence, do you want to touch on that, Clarence?
Yeah, sure. So basically what MSD's view is on this is you have to make, your employer has to make best endeavors to pay them their normal usual salary. But if that is not possible, we at least ask you to pay them 80% of the salary. Now, just in case, if the employee's salary is less than the leave support scheme that you are getting, the balance, so you pay the employee the normal usual salary, what they expected to get. And if there's a difference, then you can use the difference to pay other affected employees. Now, if you are a sole trader and if that applies to you, then and you have there's a balance and there's no one else to pay, you got to pay that back to MSD. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, hopefully. If any of you need any more clarification, put them through chat.
Yeah.
I think just to reiterate on this one, I think you touched on, because some people are just coming in. Do we tax the $600?
Do you want me to take that, Molly?
Yes, please, Clarence.
So what happens is the employers don't have to pay any GST, but because it comes as income, the employees will still have to pay tax on it, PAYE, KiwiSaver contributions, student loans, all that as normal because it is in the category of income.
Yep.
Awesome. For this one, what about reduction in income due to customers isolating?
Sorry, I don't understand that
yeah,
question.
It's a tricky question. Whoever asked this question, if you could please clarify. But yeah, we'll get back to you on an answer once we get clarity on that question.
Yeah.
Okay, now onto our IRD team. First question is, do we pay out the $400 to our employees as well?
It's a good question. Again, the CSP is actually business, it's for business expense. It's entirely up to you how you spend it, as long as you spend it on businesses, on your business. Now, for example, I have a web design business and I need a new screen for my business to operate. I'll spend it on that. So again, it's entirely up to you. It's non-deductible, tax deductible. At the same time, you can't claim it as an expense. It's just there for you to utilize, if that makes sense. So you can spend it on anything that is linked to your business.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. So this question, kind of a comment, probably need to reach out to this person, but it's just they are a bit confused with the 7-day period on or after 16th February. But they did mention that they've completed the application.
Sorry,
And
Elaine, that was a different, so that was a
okay.
comment, but the second question is, sorry, a bit confused with the 7-day period on or after the 16th of February.
Sorry, I already got my answer for that one.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Awesome.
cool.
Thank you.
That
No
was
worries.
just a comment. Someone said that they tried completing the application and it was pretty straightforward.
Nice. We've got a
Yeah.
first review right here. Okay, so our next question is the base is only for full-time. I think the base pay is only for full-time.
No, so base payment is the actual amount that if you own a company but don't have any employee, then it will be what you will be receiving, or organization. If you have a registered organization, no employees, no volunteers, base payment will be for 4,000. If you're a sole trader, then of course it'll be 4,000 with the base payment plus yourself, who is the employee or who is the one that's running the business. So again, that will then be classified as 400, but base payment is definitely the standard amount.
Awesome. Next question, is there someone we can contact to help us make the right calculations for comparison, please?
So
Yeah.
yes, we work very close with PBT. So we'll probably leave that with John. You know, we will probably apply the same way that we did with the RSP, where the referrals will come through directly to me, and I will be in contact with you, or Naeem will be in contact with you directly, and we can go through it with you. Not a problem at all.
Yep.
So we can follow that same process, Naeem and Elizabeth, where clients can contact us and we can forward you their names and contact details and their questions.
Brilliant. That's great.
Sounds good.
Next question. If self-employed, can they apply for STAP and COVID support at the same time?
I'm assuming that you would. It'd be very much similar, like with our legislations are different, but we're also administering it different ways. But it'll be very much like the wage subsidy and the RSP, where businesses were able to apply for both. So I'm assuming that will be the same as well.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, sure. Cool. Thanks, Molly.
Yep.
Okay. Is the CSP tax-free or not?
So the CSP, if you are GST registered, there is a GST component on the CSP. For income tax, no, it's not. It is classified as a grant, so therefore there is no tax on income tax. But if you are registered for GST, then there is a GST component that you will need to declare, and also you can claim the input tax for GST purposes.
Awesome. Just with this question, we might need more clarity on that. It's asking, is pending application included in the CSP? Would that make sense to you guys, or do you need more clarity from this question?
Sorry, I'm not quite sure about pending application. Have you applied, and are you awaiting for a response from Inland Revenue? Because usually if you apply, and it should be automatically approved if it meets all the criteria, but if it isn't, then please check your web messages on your MyIRD account. There could be a message from us asking you for more information.
So another question we have from a sole trader who bakes cakes and does everything on their own. Can they add their husband as a part-time worker who helps the sole trader make the cakes and delivery on their behalf?
Go on, Liz, sorry.
Yep. So if definitely if you can provide proof of that, again, by all means add them on, and just as long as you've got something there to showcase or demonstrate that your husband is supporting you in the running of the business. So that shouldn't be a problem. Again, if we don't have records, as long as you've got records, we can then match it, we can then review it, and if it's there, if it's suffice, then absolutely.
Awesome, thank you. I think this is just COVID. Oh, so this person's asked, is the COVID subsidy full pay or just 80%? Did you want me to reach out to the person for more clarity on this one?
That'll be good. Sorry, I can't see the question there.
Yeah, no worries. Yes, please, whoever's sent this one through, please, if you could put more detail in this one. Our next question, we definitely have to pay GST on the payments received. It's received as income for the businesses. Am I wrong?
So again, the CSP is a grant from the government. If it's a grant, it's not an income tax. It's not a revenue to your business or your organization. So therefore, there is no income tax liability there. But usually for a GST, if you were to apply for a grant from the government and you are GST registered, then therefore there is a GST component there that you will need to declare. Hope that explains it.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you, Naeem. Next question. In regards to CSP, you mentioned we can apply 3 times. Is that correct? I think, yeah.
So that's correct. So at the moment, it's just the first period that's opened at the moment. Definitely over time, there will be 3. Unlike the RSP, there was like 7. So this time round, it's 3 fortnightly payments. So the first one is actually open.
Awesome, thank you. Regarding CSP, when will it be possible to compare with 2021 period as per Minister of Finance's comments?
Good question. That's still currently with council at the moment, so that's yet to be confirmed. So we're still waiting on that. So at the moment, the dates that we've given in the legislation side of it is the 5th of January 2022 to the 15th of February 2022.
Awesome, thank you. There are a few questions in here that we've kind of already answered, but I'll just go through them. Probably some people have just coming through. This one is just about the base pay. Yes, please, if you do need some sort of assistance with these, reach out to the PBT team so that we can contact the, and connect you with the right team from either IRD or MSD. So another question has come through with the CSP. This person mentioned they aren't registered employees, but the husband is a director, so is the person. Are they regarded as employees, and do they qualify for the $400?
Absolutely. If they're running the business, they're responsible for selling the products or, providing that service. Absolutely. They will be, be classified as employee of or under the company. They are directors. So as long as they can showcase that they are operating, they're trading in the business, that should be fine.
Cool. Thank you. Then, sorry, in relations to sole trader question, I think we had before, what kind of proof of record is required?
I think we already touched on. Oh, is this for CSP or is it for?
Yes, it's for CSP, sorry.
Okay.
For CSP, I'm just asking, you know how it says we need to provide a proof for evidence, but like
Sure.
in my case, I'm working full time, but I help out in the evening to my mom running her business. So that's the background of my question.
Sure. Okay. Excellent question. So it's what you will be relying on, the kind of records that you will need as backup if they do approach you. Bank statements. Okay, and also if you have any invoices with particular customers, if you have an agreement like a contract agreement with, say, you have a shop or you're actually leasing out a shop, that's another supporting there. But mainly the bank statements where you can see business income, you know, in that particular business account, money going out. You can have invoices of your suppliers, those that you've been paying for your products, or, you know, just for the suppliers of the business itself, again within that particular time frame from the 5th of January to the 15th of February. So as long as you can showcase bank statements, invoices, records, then that should definitely support your application.
I hope that answers that for you, Loto. If you need more
Sorry,
clarity.
I was asking, I should rephrase my question, not a sole trader. My mom's business is registered employer, just a company. But with me, like we all have the records for my mom, but I'm asking on my behalf, since I'm helping out part-time in the evening, what kind of proof do the business need to provide for myself? Or
Okay. So in your situation, the proof that will be required will be money from the business account going to your personal account to show that you're actually getting some form of income to showcase that you are providing that service. That's probably the only thing I can think of. You can probably make it, you know, if you've got notes there to show that you were paying for some of the products from your personal account, that could be deemed as reimbursement from the company to you. Again, it will show the link that you have with the company, but in general, it will be financial exchange of your mum's company paying some money into your personal account for the service that you've provided.
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Loto. And on to our last question. Will we be advised when the next CSP is open?
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of the information, all the updates, where you will find it on our website, and they usually make announcements in public, but our website is definitely the place to go.
So thank you so much, Elizabeth. We have a hand raised by Mommy.
Sorry? Oh.
No,
I think
sorry.
so. Yeah. Please ask your question. Sorry, I just saw someone raise their hand.
I think that's me.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think I've got my video off, but this is more for Liz and the IRD team, please. I was the one that asked the question about the base pay because I have done my first round, but when I did it, maybe this might help someone as well. I'm a part-time due to the hours that I work, but it did not give me an option when the calculation was given. I did not see anything mentioning the base pay. So that's why I'd ask if the base pay, is it for full-time only or how is that calculated?
Okay, so thank you for that question. So you may have fallen into the other category, so it depends on which is lesser. And the other category was the 8 times the revenue drop when if you have a lower income and that you've derived, so it could have came from that. I can definitely look into it for you for just for review and let you know. But it's I'm assuming, because as you mentioned that you're doing part-time, it could also mean that the base payment has then dropped to align with the business, so you're not missing out on it. You're actually getting in accordance to the period, as well as the time that's set in the running of your business. In this case, it's part-time. So and again, there was 2 lots, either the base payment of 4,000 or the one that's lesser, which is 8 times the actual revenue drop from there, and that's usually for businesses with lower income or lower revenue, I should say.
Okay. If you can do that for me, Liz, it'll be good. It's always good to know and reassure. Especially that it was nice. Thank you very much for your time today with the sessions. Just to be sure that I've done it right, and it might help someone as well. So if you don't mind looking into it, I would appreciate it. And thank you very much, team, for that.
Yes, please. If you can just let PBT know, and so I can get your details, that'd be wonderful.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, team, just bear with us. We have 2 more questions. I'll shift this onto our MSD team. So this person has just completed their isolation. They're back to work. Just wanted to know if they can still apply for the leave support payments.
Clarence, did you wanna? Sorry, Clarence, you're on mute.
Oh yeah. So we'll have to get back to you on that. So they have already finished their self-isolation, and now they are back at work. Is that what you say?
Yeah, they're back at work after finishing isolation. Yeah.
So well, we can get back to you on that, Eleni.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Because in regards to as just reconfirming on that, the short the short
the leave support
step.
scheme.
No, but I mean the other payment is you can still apply, but for the leave support scheme, yeah, as Karen said, we'll come back to you on that one.
Okay, awesome. Yes, please. And then our next question. My husband and I are running a registered lawn care business, which is both of us, but they've only been in business for 4 months now. So are they qualified for the $400? And are they both eligible for the support?
Yep, so for the CSP, minimum is 1 month prior to the 16th of February. So yes, absolutely. If you're both running it and you've got evidence there, both directors, then that shouldn't be an issue. You're actually running the company together. Again, just for backup, as long as you got proof and records, that should be fine.
Awesome. I think that wraps us up for our questions. Again, please feel free to email the PBT team. On screen, we have our info@pacificbusiness.co.nz email address if you have any more questions, and we'll reach out to our IRD and MSD team on your behalf. Now that we've come to the end of this, I will pass over to John just to wrap us up. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Eleni, and thank you, Molly, Clarence, Elizabeth, and Naeem for taking our participants through that session. It was really informative, and appreciate your time, but also to all the Pacific businesses who took time to join us this evening. Thank you very much. I'm just going to quickly go through what support is available at Pacific Business Trust in case you're not aware. So if you have any questions in regards to what's been shared tonight and you want support for either of these services through MSD or IRD, please call us or email us on info@pacificbusiness.co.nz or our 0800 number 0800 287 7526. Beyond those support, we also have our ongoing support for Pacifica-owned businesses through our business advisor support, also some of our grants support, and we can also connect you with service providers that have been vetted by PPT and have also completed their cultural competency assessment. The other support that we also have is through our procurement support service, and this is to help you if you are wanting to tender for contracts, or you're wanting help with your health and safety. This particular support at the moment is focused on construction businesses. One of the other support that we also are currently running, and specifically for Auckland businesses, is through the Activate Tamaki Makaurau. I just want to note that this support is closed through the Auckland Unlimited. So whereas with us at PPT, we've got funding through this support for Pacific-owned businesses, and we are working through with our clients and anyone that is interested in that Activate Tamaki Makaurau to be able to access that. So if you have any questions in regards to that, please call us and ask about that support. On that note, yeah, I think that will be the end of the sessions, and I just want to iterate again. Thank you everyone for taking the time, and thank you to our awesome facilitators for doing a awesome job talking through the technical part of these support. And we do know that you know, it's really important that there are people to help businesses. I think the ideal situation for us at PPT is that we are connected to the team at MSD, and we're also connected to the team at IRD, and these you know, specific teams, they understand, when working with Pacifica businesses, they understand the challenges that Pacific businesses face, and they have you know, been really generous to support clients that we send through to them. So please make good use of this support, and it's free and available, whether just to tip in your application, or even if you have any questions beyond this session. So yeah, I think that's it for me. I know